From our research, we found that there are three main challenges that the SME in Indonesia face. I think the first one is really what economists would call a supply side disruptions, which basically means the interruptions to the way they work. Now they have to manage the team remotely. They have to face potential disruptions to the supply chain and logistics and fulfillments. They cannot interact and engage to customers the way they used to. So these are very much the supply side, and 63% of entrepreneurs that we surveyed, about 2,000 entrepreneurs that we surveyed in this study, suggest that remote working is quite challenging. The second one is really the demand side as well, I think, and that's becoming more and more apparent, that it's not only the interruptions to work flows, but also that the consumers have become more cautious in spending. And the two keywords, cautious and online. So among the 20,000 Indonesian youth we survey, about almost 60% said that they have become to appreciate the need to have emergency savings. So they become more cautious in spending. But at the same time, of those who spend, much more has shifted from offline to online channels. And that, I think, brings us to the third factors which the SME have to cope with, which is when you combine one and two together, you're going to have some of the cash flow problems. Decline in revenue combined with the need still to pay for the fixed costs, whether it's wages, whether it's utilities, electricity. That means these fixed costs is going to start to bite into your balance sheet. And about a quarter of these entrepreneurs report that they're facing some of these funding constraints, and many of which turn to banks. But we also seen signs that they also turn more to government financial support, as well as using, interestingly, more digital lending platforms on it. So I think those are the three key challenges that SME have to cope with.
Okay, now I would like to know more. Do you think that they have done the necessary adjustments, this SME business during the coronavirus pandemic?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because when we do this report, I think the story that really come up is not just about SME struggling or facing challenge, but is also there's a positive angle to this, what we found, which is that a story of adaptability, a story of resilience that we have seen Indonesian entrepreneurs is coping and adapting situation. And the two important ways that we see this is happening. One is digitalization. And Aline, I'm sure you have seen this joke going around that people say in business, CEO, CTO, all of them try to push the firms to digital transformation, to digitalize more, but that hasn't been that successful. But when it comes to COVID, COVID, that has been very powerful tool to force all the companies to adopt more digital tools. And that's exactly what we've seen in the data. More than half of these entrepreneur survey say that they have increased usage of various digital tools quite significantly. And interestingly, about 1 in 5 among these are first-time adopters. So COVID is driving even the late adopters that previously were maybe reluctant to go into digital to now also do it. But digital is not the only thing. We also seen that there are just second kind of adjustment which go along with going digital, which is really an adapting of business strategy and product mix. There's some interesting case studies that we interviewed in depth for this study. One, we found that, for example, there's a wholesale clothing stores that has shifted from normally producing hoodies and outerwears now to children clothes and fabric masks. And shift from wholesale to now actually interacting much more directly with the retail customers using live stream features on e-commerce platform. Another shops, also interesting, produce snacks and now shifted towards more healthy snacks like granola and whatnot, because the health trend becoming more health conscious is becoming more important in Indonesia. So we have seen not only just shifting from offline to online, but also a shift in products mix and strategy, which really show how nimble and how adaptable some of the young entrepreneurs in Indonesia are.